on previous tours, we would all just be kind of doing our own thing. Like, we're taking space from one another. Like 2 people would be off here over here, 2 people would be off there. This tour, we noticed that there were numerous occasions, most nights, there would be all 5 of us just sitting together, hanging out, talking. And I think that just speaks volumes to the strength of like the band and the friendships, the bond of us all. So the positive energy that is happening right now in the band is going to be reflected in future work, I think, and future live performances, for sure.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Lachlan Watt, and welcome back to Music Is My Life. I hadn't intended on taking a break from the podcast last week, but after being out on the road with Better Lovers, and then sticking around in Adelaide at the end of the tour to record a bunch of podcast episodes at Froth and Fury, and then absorbing some of the psychic damage from the latest Epstein files, I was feeling well and truly cooked. I needed to take a moment to focus on my day job because I had a tour announcement to get out the door. So before I get into this week's episode with Sean Harmanis of Make Them Suffer, I'm going to tell you about how the legendary metalcore pioneers Poison the Well will return to Australia for the first time in well over 15 years this July for 6 shows with Haywire, one of the most talked about modern hardcore bands of recent years. They're going to be chucking some gigs in Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, Newcastle and Brisbane from the 6th of July to the 14th of July. Poison the Well was an incredibly influential band for me. They were the first international hardcore band I ever went to see back on their very first visit to Australia in 2004. So that's a pretty good indication of how old I am and why this is going to be a very special and surreal tour for me to be working on. I'm super pumped for it. Tickets are available now at destroyerlines.com. But now to this week's episode. It's a chat with my friend Sean Harmanis, vocalist of the Perth band Make Them Suffer. I think compared to most of their Australian metalcore peers, Make Them Suffer is the real little band that could kind of success story, with their steady pace and consistently high quality and unique output, eventually seeing them reach a really successful and sustainable level. The band has barely stopped playing consistently huge tours for the entire post-COVID explosion. They released a killer self-titled album in 2024, and it was great to catch up with Sean at Good Things Festival in Melbourne in December of last year to talk about all of this and get a glimpse into the future of Make Them Suffer. I got a quick 20-minute chat with Austin and Will from Lorna Shore that was also recorded at Good Things for next week's episode. And that is the last episode I have recorded from 2025. Then I'm going to have a little break, and from there it's officially going to be fortnightly episodes moving forward for season 2 of this podcast. I think this is going to help me have a little bit more time to put some more effort into each episode and get a bit more juice out of each episode. It's also going to help it feel like less of a grind. There's going to be a step up here and there with the production, and I'm going to be launching memberships for people that might be keen to throw a few bucks my way to get the podcast earlier than everybody else. So far, Season 2 of the podcast will feature episodes with Matt Gravelin from Hellions, Greg Puciato of the Dillinger Escape Plan and Better Lovers, Will Putney, also from Better Lovers, Fit for an Autopsy and producing half of your favourite records, Stu Ross from Comeback Kid and Misery Signals, Dean Lamb from Archspire, and young Igor Cavalera from Cavalera Conspiracy and Nail Bomb. So if you enjoy the same flavours as me, you're going to be eating good well into 2026. Please take a moment to like and subscribe to the podcast if you're into all of that and haven't already. But for now, it's time for me to tell you that my name is Lachlan Watt, music is my life, and now I give you my conversation with Sean Harmanis of Make Them Suffer. Cheers! We've had obviously a really hectic schedule. It's just been tour after tour, I feel, where, I feel like maybe the last 3 years, it's been, it's touring between 5 and 6 or 7 months of the year. So not a lot of downtime at home. But, it's sick. And I think the one thing that we've all been trying to really focus on is being more tolerable for one another. Yeah.
And it's something that we just came back from the States on the tour with Fit for a King. And we were all just saying like how much everyone's improved at respecting the space of one another and just just being more respectful of one another in general, I guess. So yeah, with the amount that we're touring at the moment, it's kind of weird to say, like, because I feel like we kind of know how to play a gig at this point.
Yeah.
we've played a lot of them, and the music is another avenue altogether. But working on the longevity of the band in terms of like being able to put up with one another, it's something that I think we've all taken a conscious effort and all taken steps to really improve on that, so that we can keep this thing going as long as possible.
Was the longevity looking like it was in a little bit of trouble at some point with just the personal relationships being all over each other's personal space?
I think just some people, there would be some. There would be like one or two really hectic conflicts on like any given say US tour, like a 4 to 6 week tour or whatever. And it's just been about like improving the way that we communicate with one another. It's been something that we've worked on, and
it's like any strong relationship.
Yeah. And then the other element of that is we've pretty much like come to the conclusion that no one is allowed to drink to excess, whereas previously that rule was just for a select like one or two members, but now it's like, right, it's just everyone. We've been playing, I think, the best shows we've been playing in this last year, and I think I attribute a lot of that to the lack of alcohol, that we're not partying, or we're really focused on, we're there to work kind of thing, what I mean? And we've taken the band to a point now where we feel so we've progressed and been around for so long, and there's actually like some money in it now, and it's like there's way more to lose, there's way more at stake. So it's just about taking it as seriously as possible and really respecting that it is like a job for us. It is something that is really important that we're able to continue for as long as possible.
You're off the alcohol completely for a minute there, right?
Yeah. And I'm right now. I'm sort of at the stage of I suppose I drink when I'm home, when my partner and I, like, if we go out for a nice dinner or whatever, like I'll get a cocktail if it's like a nice restaurant sort of thing. But I just did the whole US tour we did just now without. I think I had like a margarita before the last show just to kind of celebrate with everyone and have a cheers.
That's sick. I wish I could drink like that. I have to either be on or off. Yeah,
that's the thing, is like you have to. Yeah, I think a lot of people consider. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say that for some people that threshold of 1 becomes 10 or whatever is different. For me, I think I can have like 1 drink, and if I have 2 or 3, that's when it's not 2 or 3. It's like much more than that. So having like 1 drink every like 3 or 4 hours is probably like a safe amount for me. But you don't really get a lot out of it. So it hasn't been much point really for me to be drinking or partying or anything like that. So
yeah, it used to be so much more fun. Now I feel like alcohol is just as we get older, it's just there's more negatives than positives.
Yeah, and one of the things that it's actually been a little bit challenging for me in the sense that at one stage of the band's career, I was probably one of the more social members of Make Them Suffer. I was always out talking to the other bands, and slowly by year by year, that has, I'm probably like the least social person in Make Them Suffer at this point. Now I really value, A, being able to rest my voice, B, just the solitude. I mean, tour is so hectic. You're just thrown into, you can't escape being in a social situation on tour. You know what I mean? So it's, having time to myself has become something that I've really valued. But alcohol being the social lubricant that it is, and me not having or not giving myself access to that on tour anymore, it's sort of what I'm trying to find ways of like filling my time on tour, basically, just to stay sane, because I'm not just doom scrolling in my bunk for like 8 hours or whatever during the day.
What healthy activities have you been doing instead?
Well, I bought a Switch, the new one. So I was playing a little bit of Donkey Kong, but and I got the Pokemon game as well. But the thing is I just feel like as a generation, generally, like everyone's attention span is so cooked. If I can force myself to like sit down and play my Switch, I'm like, good on you. Or like watching a movie just seems like such hard work for me at the moment. Where it's like, yeah, well done, Sean. You managed to force yourself to sit down and engage with this for an hour and a half, 2 hours without picking up the phone and doom scrolling content.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people that I speak to, have experienced that and are kind of going through a similar thing. And if you can imagine being on tour, it's that amplified by a billion, because there's just so much free time on tour, especially for someone that doesn't have to like set up gear and that sort of thing.
You'd be like a professional doom scroller outside of the show, especially if you're not drinking. Yeah, that's it. So I was just talking to, I'm trying to think of like new things that I can do on tour. So, gym and exercise is a healthy one and a relatively easy one. Sometimes finding like a gym is pretty hard to get to. Just speaking with Josh, who is our manager and plays in North Lane, and he's got like a coffee setup. So he's got like a portable espresso machine. And, we just two days ago got off the flight from America, and, the one thing obviously that you miss as an Australian overseas is being able to get an Australian tasting coffee, because I feel like even just inherently like the taste, the flavor of like the coffee beans. American coffee in particular is shit.
Yeah, but they're just like, they value different things in coffee. Like, I'm not talking ever, obviously, like, it's really over the top to get a caramel swirl mocha or latte or whatever it is that they've got over there. But I mean, just like if you get a cold brew over there, the coffee like inherently just like has different flavors. Like we have really quite bitter coffee in Australia, I reckon. And then over there it's, what do they got? Like it's zesty, it's citrusy, it's all really light and like floral, and like it's not what I'm about. Hey, I need a big slap across my face in the morning. So maybe that's something I can get into. I don't know, bring a portable thing, just bring some coffee, and then that'll chew up, I don't know, 20 minutes of my day or something like that.
Sometimes spent not on the phone.
Yeah. So coffee, gym, games. I don't know. If people want to send me suggestions of like what they do, I tell you on the.
What about local sightseeing?
Local sightseeing is something I need to do more of. I've never like actually been to the site of the Eiffel Tower, and we've played Paris. I don't know how many times at this point, probably 7 or 8 times. So that is definitely something that is on my, I'd like to get out more. And we always feel amazed. Like everyone's so exhausted is the thing. And every tour I get sick for a solid, half the tour I'm generally sick. So I'm usually just trying to recover, but I feel like the more time you spend recovering, sometimes you just need to get out there and get some vitamin D, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's part of it. I did get to Fit for a King, they play Magic the Gathering, so I managed to tee up a couple of games of Magic with those guys. I don't actually play Commander, which is the main format that they play, but I did play it. They were able to lend me some decks, which is awesome. And we had a blast. I played like a core vault. I don't know if people know Magic. I played like a core vault. It's like a land sack. I like anything with lands for those that know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, yeah.
Do you remember the tour when we were playing Magic?
Was that
the Acacia Strain after the burial in the US? And I tagged along for like a week, and we were like drinking every night and playing Magic every night.
I remember the drinking. Were we playing Magic? Did you bring cards?
Yeah.
Who had cards?
I think it was me.
Right. Sick. Yeah. That tour was. That was crazy.
I was going to bring it up before when you were talking about drinking. I remember the first night when I parachuted into Austin, and like I think it was your birthday or something, and you were just gone.
Yeah,
rolling around in like the boot of a car, like
oh my god,
flopping about.
Yeah.
So you've come a long way.
In some ways, I look back on that sort of stuff fondly. It definitely there's some high points, and then there's some low points.
I don't really want to take too much of it back when it comes to my own partying past, but it's like just once you get to a certain point, more of it's just like sad and it's not fun anymore.
That's right. Yeah.
I think as long as you kind of grow from there.
Well,
You're all good.
It's all about control, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just being in control when you're doing it. And if you are no longer able to be in control, then it's probably a sign you should stop.
So you were talking a bit about how like the band is actually a big band now, but it happened like so slowly and was such a long grind.
Yeah.
Has it sort of kept you in the mindset at all of sort of still feeling like the underdogs a little bit, or do you actually like embody the fact that, you know, do you feel confident? Obviously you've just said it, but like you feel confident about the fact that Make Them Suffer is actually a big established headlining band now?
I don't know. I think we have a pretty healthy outlook on things. Like I think that because we've you know, come through the trenches, so to speak, and been grinding for so long, there's a real foundation of appreciation for what we have, and you know, knowing how hard it has been and how long it's taken to get there. From the time we started touring, if you compare it to the trajectory of other bands, it actually hasn't been that long, but it's just that we were a local band for like 3 or 4 years, which usually it's less for bands, but obviously, you know, Perth slowed us down. We've had some hiccups along the way. And I feel like, you know, the lifespan of Make Them Suffer can be dissected into chapters almost, where, yeah, it's been this slow trajectory of growth, but at the same time, you know, there's been different eras of the band, and maybe the last spout of growth that we had was maybe the fastest or the biggest bit of growth that we have had in our career, sort of thing. So I probably that didn't come out right, but
I get
you know what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. Yeah. So I don't know. It comes in waves, as they say, but you know, I think everyone's got a really healthy perspective, and we're all really appreciative of you know, the grind that it takes to get to where we are now. And now, like, we finally feel like a legitimate band, which I was thinking about this actually earlier today. It's a little bit sad that when we look back on a lot of older tours now through our current lens or scope, it sort of feels like they weren't real tours. You know what I mean? It was some of the really early ones particularly were just like so DIY or whatever, just jumping on random shows. But it's like, realistically, like, what did we actually gain from doing that? Like,
obviously,
not that much. They weren't great financial decisions.
Yeah. But it's like you never had that. Like so many bands in metalcore, especially, I feel like just have like a moment or an album that just goes and everything like goes up from there. But Make Them Suffer never really, like, every album's kind of obviously had its own little thing, but it was never like one moment where it all just went to the moon.
Well, I mean, I hope that's I hope that for fans of the band, that's actually, you know, something that they credit us for, or, you know, something that they really respect about Make Them Suffer, is that we've never been like a super hyped band. We've never really been super gimmicky in a massive way or anything. We've just, you know, stayed true to what we think is like the good art that we create. You know, we all really believe in the product that is Make Them Suffer and the music and everything. And so, hello, Jason.
Hey, mate.
That's our old tour manager there.
Memory lane.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of old tours, but we all really believe in the product. We're really happy with where we are, and we hope that other people really appreciate that about us too. That we've never been, you know, we've never just had this like explosive moment. We just kind of have been grinding.
Trends.
Yeah, we've just been like, grinding head down, and here we are.
So the self-titled album has been out for about a year. How do you feel about it now with that much space between it? Are you happy with how it has been received and what it's done for the band?
I think so. I think I don't think there's ever been an album that we've released where like I've been 100% happy with it, because you pour your heart and soul into this thing, and then every now and then you'll see like, you know, you'll read a comment that gets under your skin or something like that, you know, the scrutiny and public opinion. But the proof is like in the pudding, so to speak, in the sense that, you know, it has grown the band. Obviously, there has been like growth from the album. I think the songs themselves serve the purpose of like where we're trying to take the band in terms of the vision of what we see, how we interpret our live show to be, what the kind of energy that we want to be bringing on stage, and also just the imagery that we kind of want to project off stage as well, in terms of the branding, the lighting, the colors schemes used, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think it's a good product. I'm really happy with the self-titled album. We wouldn't have given it the title "Make Them Suffer" if we weren't stoked on it. And I think they're just like, the songs to me serve as like the pillars of our live show, if anything. You know what I mean? They're songs that are kind of, I think the live show was definitely taken into account when we were writing the songs, where we sort of, I feel like we really hit our stride with all the touring we were doing, and we've got this kind of like energy that's quite infectious from our live show, and we really want to be able to like translate into that into music, and use that to our advantage. And so for me, that's what the self-titled album is. I think moving forward with new music, I think we're going to be exploring a little bit more of some different genres, trying to focus a little bit more on something that maybe is a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more ambience, that sort of thing, drawing influence from genres that are a little less obvious, perhaps.
Such as?
I just posted my Spotify Wrapped.
I was actually going to ask you about Filter.
Yeah, I've been smashing a lot of Filter, 9 Inch Nails, Marilyn Manson, kind of like a lot of, I don't know, what would you call it, like industrial, goth.
So we're going to get the Make Them Suffer's industrial phase next.
Maybe. I mean, I've been brainstorming about ways to kind of like take what we did on the self-titled record and expand upon it, and write some songs that aren't just metalcore ass beaters, for lack of a better term. So maybe, I mean, that's a direction that I'm very excited to explore. At least there's other avenues on the horizon. There's so many. The scope is endless as to like what we can do with this next record, really. But I think it's going to be one that we're going to. We've got more time to work on it. I think we're recording the album over and sort of writing it over 2-month-long sessions, like 6 months apart, kind of thing. So we're going to have time to like write as much as we can, reflect on it, and then go back and probably write the second half of it or whatever. So it's going to be a lot more thought. Or the most thought that we've put into any album, put into this next one.
A nice luxury to be able to have, I suppose.
Yeah, and that's the thing that people don't understand about being a band that tours this amount, is finding the time to write. I mean, to me, one of the greatest achievements about the album Make Them Suffer is that we were able to actually find the time to write it and get it all done with the touring schedule we've had. It's just been insane, but at the same time, it's just been tour after tour that we can't really say no to. So it's awesome, and we're getting better at writing on the road, and just in under the pump, basically. Yeah.
So after the regional tour and before this last US tour, you guys had I think the longest break from touring that you'd had in a while, right? Like a few months at home.
Yeah.
Did you spend a bunch of that writing, or were you just like having a bit of a headspace break from Make Them Suffer?
Well, I basically split it between, we're taking a break from each other and taking that time to reflect on, what can we do to make this touring environment a little bit better, as I was sort of brushing over earlier. The other thing I was doing was preparing for the regional championship for Magic, because I was going to compete in that. So I was putting in the reps to play that, as it was modern was the format, and I really enjoy.
Did you do it in the end?
Yeah, you have to qualify for it. I'd qualified for it, and then I played my favorite deck, which is Amulet Titan. Did okay, I came 20th out of like 230 or something like that. So definitely not unhappy with that result. And then the other thing, I was just spending a lot of time with family, really spending a lot of time with my partner, and we were just writing. I think this is the most, we've kind of got, the setup we've got at the moment is so good. And if you are a songwriter, I encourage, if you're collaborating with, if you're not like the sole songwriter, if everyone wants to contribute sort of thing, which we're trying to be more inclusive of like all the members, like Jaya's writing riffs this record, J-Man, we're starting songs from like J-Man's drum beats, starting songs from like a vocal melody that I've written and stuff like that. We want everyone to be, and Alex, of course, she's been writing her vocal melodies as well. We just want everyone to be able to contribute as best they can. So what we've kind of done is we've got Nick's like Logic, what would you call it? Like a template sort of thing. Make sure we've all got the exact same plugins, and then so it's always when you send a Logic file back and forth between one another, we're all hearing exactly the same thing. We're all using exactly the same plugins, and it's just been an absolute game changer for being able to start songs from not just a riff, but all the instruments basically, and having a more collaborative effort. I think because Jaya listens to interesting. Everyone listens to. We all have different tastes basically. J-Man likes really heavy stuff. Jaya's kind of like into.
Those two have never like written for the band before, have they?
Nah, not at all. I think J-Man wrote a breakdown, which is the breakdown in Epitaph. I think he may have written something else. But that's a great breakdown. But yeah, this is a first for us. So I think that is something that is just immediately going to set this record apart from previous ones. And I'm stoked about it because it kind of takes a lot of the pressure off Nick and myself. I think there is such a thing as like too many cooks. You don't want to. Yeah, it's so long as it's like a controlled workspace, and we're doing that by the limitations are the template file. You know what I mean? So.
That's exciting because I guess with the self-titled record, you really got to the peak of the sound that defined Make Them Suffer for a few albums, and now it's like time to grow. Yeah, from a fresh foundation with everyone who is Make Them Suffer. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we've talked about it, and I don't see this lineup changing anytime soon. It seems really solidified. We all love each other. Something we noticed on this recent tour is like on previous tours, we would all just be kind of doing our own thing. Like, we're taking space from one another. Like two people would be off here over here, two people would be off there. This tour, we noticed that there were numerous occasions, most nights, there would be all five of us just sitting together, hanging out, talking. And I think that just speaks volumes to the strength of like the band and the friendships, the bond of us all. So we want to hang on to the members, make everyone feel as included as possible, and I think it's going to be the positive energy that is happening right now in the band is going to be reflected in future work, I think, and future live performances for sure. Must be a real trip to have the band actually be like a proper paying job these days, right? Yeah, it's absolutely insane. I get emotional thinking about it because it's been such a slog at some points. And there have been multiple times in the band's career where, I've spoken with Nick and we've been like, this right now is the darkest point in the band's career. and then 2 years later, there's the next darkest point. Yeah. But I mean, we're stronger now than we've ever been. And it feels like we're noticing, there used to be things that would happen to us. We'd be like, oh, of course that fucking happens to us. You know what I mean? We're the unlucky ones. You know what I mean? And now the opposite is happening. Oh, geez, someone's looking out for us up there or whatever, however you believe the. But you're about, this is your what, second good things? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess things that used to be, major milestones of like, holy shit, imagine if we get to do that one day. Now they're just kind of a regular part of your day job. Yeah, 100%. We get to tour and play live music for a living. It's insane. And, today is in some ways an accomplishment where the final act on, I'm not sure if it's stage 4 or 5 or whatever it is. It's a flip-flop stage set up, so to speak, but we're the last band playing on that stage. And congrats. Yeah, it's insane. So we're very excited and, we're actually a little bit nervous. It's our first time, especially for Jaya and J-Man.
said they were nervous, and they don't get nervous. But I think it's because now we've got like all this crew to like build our kits and unpack all our gear and stuff like that, where they're usually, we're usually all hands on deck and everyone's got a job to do, sort of thing. So now we've got all this free time to think about all the things that could go wrong with the live set. But I'm sure it's going to be fine.
What's the production like? You stepping it up for the stage closing?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we've got some pyro and we've got some LED walls behind us, and a riser that has been something that is a luxury for us, where it's a stage plot thing where Alex and Jordan will be level on the same riser at the back, so everyone has their sort of like little spot, like me in the middle, Nick front left, Jai front right, and then Alex is propped up next to J-Man. So
you got the middle.
Yeah.
But
I would love to step that. I would love to take our current stage plot one step further and add like some steps, and we can all like move around and swap positions. Like, it's so insane getting to tour with bands like when we toured with Bring Me in Australia and seeing their live setup. It's inspiring, and it gets the cogs turning. There's so many possibilities of what you can do with a live show. So it's really exciting for us. But I mean, yeah, this is a milestone for us, headlining a Good Things stage. So we're beyond stoked.
Awesome, man. I think that might be a nice little place to wrap it up. Have you got more interviews to do?
No, this is actually it for me today. I got quite a few tomorrow the next day, but yeah, get to rest the voice a little bit and get prepped. Yeah, should be good.
Well, thanks heaps, Sean. Always a pleasure.
No worries. You're a legend. Thanks, mate.
Thanks for listening to Music Is My Life. This podcast is self-produced by me, Lachlan Watt. I'd like to thank Audio-Technica Australia for providing the high-quality equipment that has made this possible, as well as Patrick Galvin at Hollowbone Studio for the design. The killer theme music that you are currently hearing was written by the legends TJ Cowgill and Sam Saljuki. Catch you in the next episode.